Why don't we go next to, oh, I don't know, maybe Drew from Los Angeles? Drew, welcome to the David Pakman Show. What's on your mind today?
Hello, David. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, fantastic. Thanks for taking my call.
Pleasure.
Um, First of all, I just want to say I really love the show. It's really great to have just such a comprehensive, uh, uh, presentation of everything that's going on right now. You do very well at letting everyone know what's going on in a
I
very
appreciate
rational,
that.
even-handed way.
Thank you.
Um, and I generally agree with just about everything you've got to say. Although you said one thing a little while back when I first started listening to the show a few months ago that I was hoping you could maybe elaborate on. Somebody called in and said that you should have a show on MSNBC or something like that, and you said that, and I'm paraphrasing a bit. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you said something to the effect of, they weren't interested in what you had to say or what you were selling. And I was just hoping that you could maybe elaborate a little bit on why you think that is. I'm just curious. And also, you made a remark about MSNBC and Fox and all these news corporations being profit-driven media, which I do generally agree with, because we're not really in the age of Cronkite anymore. And by that I mean, like, Cronkite was a journalist that everyone in the country, for the most part, generally kind of trusted. And when when he said, Vietnam was a stalemate, everyone kind of went, "Wow, I guess Vietnam is kind of a stalemate," and we don't really have that anymore, right?
Mm.
But even though they're all profit driven at this point, don't you think it's fair that to say that Fox is kind of in its own category, as far as like misinformation and their slants on things, especially in the wake of the Dominion lawsuit and all that kind of stuff?
100%. So let me address a couple of these issues. First and foremost, and by the way, I don't know if we were just on speakerphone or something. My voice was feeding back. It no longer is. And that's a really great thing that you were able to apparently fix that, Drew. So first and foremost, there is no question that the Fox News rhetoric and narrative is damaging to the country in a way that MSNBC is not. The similarity, the point to be made, is that at the end of the day, the corporate structure is essentially the same. Fox News takes this radical right editorial perspective. MSNBC takes a center left sort of Democratic Party perspective. Both of those perspectives are to my right, but of course, MSNBC's perspective is not damaging to the country in the way that Fox News is. With regard to the idea of they don't want what I'm selling. Cenk Uygur from the Young Turks has a million stories from when he was doing some guest hosting and weekend hosting on MSNBC. And they have a center left perspective, often right in line with the Democratic Party. And if you want to step outside of that, you will be limited in the same ways that you would in any platform where you have that number of layers of bosses or whatever the case may be. So my view on MSNBC is it's just not super interesting to me because at this point, my reach is such that I am not I don't feel like I would reach dramatically more people by getting, a half hour on MSNBC or whatever the case may be. It's way cushier to not have 12 bosses above me and to do whatever I want to do, cover whatever I want any day that I want to do it. And also, it seems like a much more honest path forward where my audience knows everything I'm saying is because I've chosen to say it and it's genuinely what I believe, rather than wondering how much of this corporate superstructure might be impacting what they see on my show. That's kind of my view at this point.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. That's fair. I do see a fair degree of overlap with like certain commentators on that network and some of what you have to say. I'd say like Joy Reid or some of Mehdi with Hassan, what he does over there. I think there's a couple people who were generally on the level. But that does make sense, being able to be your own boss and choose your own
And
topics and
and
all
that
that
may
kind of
be
stuff.
honestly, I don't watch any MSNBC, so I have no idea what any of the people I know Mehdi. I don't know that I've ever really seen Joyanne Reed's show. I don't know what they're saying. I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, no worries. Well, thanks for elaborating on that. I really appreciate being able to talk to you. One quick thing before I go, I just wanted to give a shout out to your friend and collaborator Luke Beasley, who I think is doing a fantastic job over on his channel. And
Yep.
you know, the work he's doing, being on the ground, talking to some of those lunatics is incredible. You know, I don't know the guy, I've never met the guy, but he doesn't seem like a super physically intimidating sort of guy, you know. So for him to be putting himself in that situation with those lunatics, I think is incredibly brave and important and awesome. And I just want to commend him and just, you know, give a shout out so that anyone who's listening and isn't subscribed to his channel as well,
Absolutely.
also check that out.
And we have a shortcut to, I'm going to let you go, Drew. I appreciate the call. We have a shortcut to Luke's channel at davidpakman.com/Luke if you want to check out Luke Beasley's channel.